Happy New Year, Nature Sunshine family. Welcome to 2025. Here we are at another Herbal Hour with Nature Sunshine. My name is Nick Gonzalez. I'm Senior Manager of Sales Training. Um, for those of you who are not familiar with Nature Sunshine and you're here for the first time, I want to tell you that Nature Sunshine has been a pioneer in health and wellness since 1972 and becoming the first to encapsulate herbs. And for over 50 years, we've been committed to providing pure, potent, and proven supplements crafted from sustainably sourced ingredients. Our cutting-edge solar-powered manufacturing facility ensures exceptional quality while minimizing environmental impact. So today, 91% of our US operations and 82% of our global operations run on clean solar energy. And as a trusted global brand, we support farmers, communities, and sustainability initiatives, ensuring we honor nature while we empower health. We deliver products so you can trust for every stage of life. Okay, we want everyone to participate in the Herbal Hour. Remember, this year, every Thursday at noon. So invite your friends. Go ahead and scan this registration link. If you've already registered, you only need to do that one time, but you can scan this link so that you can share with all of your friends and your family so that they can register and receive reminders every week to join us. Okay, the more you know, the more you can help others. So never stop learning. So besides the Herbal Hour that we have every week, we also have the Herb Nerds podcast. And you can join us as we talk about herbs and herbal supplements. We gather herbalists, scientists, alternative health doctors, practitioners, farmers, manufacturers, and passionate herbal champions for deep dive discussions into all things herbs. So how do you tune in to the Herb Nerds? There's two ways. You can use Spotify, and here is the link that you can scan. And you can also use Apple Podcast. All right. Here are the guidelines for a positive experience. So we are here to learn and connect. So feel free to ask questions, share insights, and support each other. In the Zoom platform, we have the chat feature. We want you to use that to greet each other, support each other. Now, remember to be respectful. Let's keep our interactions kind and constructive. We want to share the space, help everyone feel comfortable by keeping comments considerate. And we want to enjoy the conversation. We are excited to hear from you. The Zoom platform also has a Q&A section. So if you look at your screen on Zoom, you will see that there's a section that says Q&A. If you have a question for one of the panelists about the topic that we're discussing today, make sure that you submit your questions through there so that the panelists can review it and address and answer your questions. Remember, Nature Sunshine products are designed to support wellness, but are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition as per FDA guidelines. All right, here is today's topic, steps to health, starting the new year in a healthy direction. Joining us today is Scott Terry. He is the Director of Field Development and Training at Nature Sunshine. Scott has been a part of the Nature Sunshine family since 1996, and he joined as a health education trainer. Currently, he is the home office liaison for the Central region, has a deep passion for sharing the power of natural health, loves to travel the world and discover new cultures and peoples, loves being a husband to Donna, a father to 6 children, and a grandpa to 10 grandchildren, with the newest one just being born 6 days ago. Congratulations, Scott. And today's speaker is LaDonna France. LaDonna is a registered pharmacist and board-certified naturopathic doctor. And after graduating from Purdue University, she dove into integrative medicine and natural health studies. With over 30 years of experience and more than 16,000 clients, she's worked with a wide range of health challenges and focuses on preventive care. Along the way, LaDonna has earned numerous awards, including Leadership, the Presidential Trophy, and Nature Sunshine 2015 Manager of the Year. Her passion for learning never stops. She studied iridology, traditional naturopathy, Reiki, herbalism, aromatherapy, and halotherapy. LaDonna believes in lifelong learning and travels across the country and international to expand her knowledge. Her dedication and more make her a trusted resource in natural health. I also want to take the time to congratulate LaDonna for also welcoming her first grandchild just recently over the holidays. So congratulations to you and to Scott, new grandparents. So the time is now yours. I'll be guiding your slides, so you let me know when to go to the next slide. So here's your time now.
Great. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. And yes, I am excited to be a grandma. Born on December 19th, so just a little thing at this stage. And yes, Nick, if you want to go to the next slide, that way we'll start off today. We are focusing today, it sounds like a great topic for the new year, on taking steps to healthier you. And I use the word steps because this is not a quantum leap. We're not designed to change just by one quick fix. So we're looking at more than one product or one habit. We're looking at a process, stepping stones per se, multiple steps toward less illness, less fatigue, less sadness, more vitality, energy, happiness, just better quality of life. So our goal in this short herbal hour is to provide you with steps to not only start off 2025 in a good direction, but to set you and those you love on a path to better health for life. Go ahead to the next one. I think anytime you have a path, you have to know where you're going. A map, if you don't know where you're going to end up, is not going to do you much good. So when we're talking about looking at where we want to go, we want to look at what do we want, dream about? What do we really want in life? Without hopes and dreams, life can become discouraging, dull, depressing, just lackluster. So I want you to take time to dream. Just a few minutes, and I know we do this on a daily basis. We just tend to sometimes quiet out our dream because we're so busy. But take time to dream about what's going to make your life better. Now, we're going to focus a lot on health in this topic, but that can be business goals, that can be getting out of debt, that can be all kinds of things. So you want to look at what's going to improve. An idea is just a dream until you write it down, and then it becomes a goal. So when you start dreaming, I want you to have a paper and pencil and to be jotting down the thoughts that are going through your head. Don't disqualify anything, because if it's coming into your head, it has some kind of thought process, some kind of interest, and then you can see if you truly have that passion to make that a dream. Many get frustrated, resigned because circumstances in their life or the influences other people can drag them down. We can also get overwhelmed, distracted. We're busy with work, busy with family, busy with lots of distractions, not to mention social media, TVs, etc., all interfering with our desire to follow a healthier life. My goal today is to give you some suggestions on how to take hold of the steering wheel to basically start guiding your own lifestyle toward healthier habits, thus better health, energy, vitality. Napoleon Hill is the quote on the bottom. It kind of got cut off, at least on my screen. You are a master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. And that's the positive impact I want to have on you today. Next slide, Nick. There's a little saying out with the old, in with the new. So New Year's resolutions, we're focusing on the new. And we want to reset, recharge, repair. We want to leave the hustle and bustle of the holidays behind. We want to step on a better path of self-care, healing, with a renewed focus and healthy habits. But many of us already have very, very busy lives. And just throwing more new things into our plate can be a little bit overwhelming. So before we start those new goals and add more onto our life, let's look and review what's keeping us stuck. What do we need to release or clear to have space and ability to have a healthier start? So we truly need to get out with the old to get in with the new. An example I use very often is you have, and we're healers, a lot of people are here for herbal health. If you have a wound, to promote healing, the first thing you do is clean it out. You clear out the debris, the dirt, the toxins, anything that would fester or slow the healing process. Well, I want you to look at that as with your lifestyle too. What is slowing your healing? What is slowing your progress, your ability to achieve your goals, your health goals specifically? Do you need to detox? Now, a lot of times my go-to is Clean Start. It's a whole body detox. You got the mild for those who already have regular movement, and you got the regular, even the Clean Start regular is considered a good working cleanse. People can take it every day, but it does contain cascara, and some people are sensitive to that, or they're already moving, so they don't need that extra stimulation. But it's a good way to physically jumpstart to help clear the colon, the liver, basically the whole body of some of the buildup. Great, especially after the holidays. Or do you need to work on releasing an emotional stress? Do you need to forgive or release something that's causing you some blockage and allow you to focus on the positive? Here's a good one. Do you need to clear your schedule? If we're talking about having time for self-care, having time to exercise, time for activity, time to plan food planning, where are you going to get that time from? We can't make time. We all only have 24 hours in a day, but we can plan our time and delegate it and use it more effectively to achieve and keep our priorities, basically. So what do you need to clear out of your schedule to allow time for the things that are going to be important to help you to achieve? So think about what you need to be releasing, clearing out to help you have better success in your goals that you're setting for this year. And if you want to share in the chat section, write down some of the things that you're going to be clearing out. What are some of the things that you're going to be letting go or working on releasing, or detoxes that you're going to be doing? Julie had asked, do you recommend a different cleanse if you have regular bowel movements? Usually I still like the Clean Start Mild. It does have gentle move in it, but to me, most people can tolerate that with the triphala and the extra magnesium. So I find most people have regular bowel movements. The Clean Start Mild is beautiful. It's that 2-week jump start. If they're wanting to create their own, the liver cleanse capsules combined with the psyllium hulls, fiber powder, and then probiotics. Common sense, if you're going to clean out the old, bring in the good. So probiotics, even though there is a little bit of Bacillus coagulans in the Clean Start, because Clean Start contains a viral detox, which contains Bacillus coagulans. So there's a small amount of probiotic, but I still like to bring in probiotic 11 with the Clean Start program. Go on to the next slide, Nick. Because we're talking about going out with the old and in with the new. So wanting to bring in those better habits. But often still we can feel overwhelmed or spinning in circles. How many times have we tried to make some of these changes? How many times have we set these resolutions? We start with good intentions. We're maybe even researching endlessly. And the deeper you go, the more confusing it gets. So where to start? Which supplements actually work? What's hype? What's safe? We all know how frustrating it can feel. I will encourage you to keep tuned. We're going to cover a lot of that in this webinar, but also create accountability of partners and utilize your upline or people who brought you into the Nature Sunshine with questions, because there is a lot of hype out there. Nature Sunshine has good quality products, but it can still be overwhelming on which ones to choose. And company as well as your upline can give you good direction on best products to choose, but hopefully today we're going to give you some insight on that today too. Go ahead to the next slide, Nick. Let me see if I can change my view to see if that shows me better. I was missing part of the slide, so I wanted to change my viewing. So in with the new. Keep in mind that we're uniquely made. So what is best for one is not going to be best for all. And that's why I don't believe in the one shoe fits all. And that's why I love the fact that Nature Sunshine does have so many choices. You will need to decide based on your lifestyle and health needs what steps to focus on first. Overall, a holistic whole approach is needed to work on the whole body. So you may decide to focus on exercise, but don't forget about nutrition and hydration. So we're going to cover what I call 5 key steps, but there's so many other smaller pieces of the puzzle that I don't want you to forget about each individual need. I didn't say that quite correctly. Don't forget about your focus, but don't forget about the broad picture too. So diet is foundation. Reducing processed foods. It's the easy step. Those empty calories, those sugars, those starches, those things that really are not going to give you any nutritional benefit. Food planning has been shown to benefit helping with following a healthy diet. If you don't have the food in your home, it's hard to eat healthy. So planning what you're going to eat, having your grocery list made so that you're actually able to implement it. A lot of times people ask me, what is the best diet to follow? I think, again, that goes into your individuality. Some people are more active. Some people have blood sugar issues, other health needs. But I think everybody needs to be looking at protein, carbs, fat, and fiber. Now, those first three are the macronutrients. A lot of times I throw fiber in there because I feel like it should be. But every time you eat, and we're going to get into this a little bit deeper, all four of those should be present. Exercise is essential. Walking, stretching, weight bearing, muscle resistance, cardio. The main concept is move daily. Hydration. We talk about purified water being the best thing to drink. I am big on making sure that you have access to a clean water source, but I do believe we can upgrade it using the electrolytes. We have SoStick Revive, Avia Hydrate. We can upgrade with the chlorophylls. We've got lots of good flavor choices. I'm still old school. I love my mint, but I have lime that a lot of people are buying a lot of. They really seem to enjoy the lime, apple, the melon. SoSticks not only has the electrolytes, but they also have the SoStick Energy, the SoStick Cardio. And then we got our Power Beats, which I do every afternoon, the Power Greens. So lots of ways that you can enhance your hydration, but also enhance your nutrition. Mental health. This is essential no matter what goals you're working on. We want to decrease our stress and increase our gratitude. Meditation is an option, but I think it's very important. I do a walking meditation at a labyrinth that I have in the back of our wellness center. Some people, their form of meditation is prayer, but meditation is just basically quieting the mind and giving you a chance to release some of the stresses and focus on what's important in life, a way of emptying out. Laughter. There's another reason that they always say laughter is your best medicine. We all need joy in our life. We need laughter. We need happiness. So how can you bring more happiness into your home? Sleep. Rest is required for restoration and repair, both quality of sleep and quantity. So looking at your sleep hygiene and habits. Go ahead and go to the next slides, Nick, because we're going to dig a little deeper. So when we're looking at actually making these doable, we got to break down these segments into goes. When I look at diet, I look at what are you going to eat, when, how. We talked about the macronutrients, protein, carbs, fats. Are you getting plenty of good fats? Because fat, there's a big category. So when I'm talking about these, I'm talking about the quality of them. Are you getting protein smoothies in? That's one of my go-tos to make sure I'm hitting my protein grams. A lot of times people will ask, well, how do you break down or where do you start? Normally, I use the 40-30-30 rule. Now, 30 grams of fat, but the other two kind of depends on the activity. I go with 40 grams protein and 30%. Sorry, break that, not grams, because I'm shooting for over 100 grams of protein. But out of my calorie intake, 40% is protein, 30% is carbohydrates, 30% is fats. Now, I will tweak that, and that's where you can use tools like the body composition scale to evaluate how you're doing, because if somebody's very active, they may need more carbohydrates and go with 40% carbohydrates. I just sit at a desk all day. I don't need that many carbohydrates, but we do need good carbs because your vegetables are carbohydrates. So we want to make sure that we are getting that blend. So when I'm talking proper nutrients, when you're looking at what you're eating, are you getting good fats? Are you getting good protein? Are you getting good carbohydrates? Are you getting enough of them? because sometimes people will cut out a whole category of food and then they wonder why they're having trouble sleeping or their moods are changing. Digestion is essential. Take time to chew your food. Eating on a schedule has been shown to help with digestive habits. And it's important to actually be able to assimilate what you're eating. Just because you eat it doesn't mean you absorb it. So utilizing digestive aids, your ginger, whether it's adding ginger to your stir fry or ginger tea or taking the ginger capsules. Enzymes, we have several, but my two favorite are food enzymes and proactozymes. Taken with food to help enhance digestion, especially as you get older if you're eating heavier foods or cooked foods. Papaya, you can do the good fresh fruit, you can do the dried fruit, you can actually do the papaya mints. So there's lots of ways that we can work as a catalyst to help us digest our food better. Because if you don't absorb it, you can't utilize it, and that goes with your supplements too. Intestinal, I'm looking at our sewer system, cleaning things out again. Do you have healthy elimination? Do you need to do a cleanse? Most of us, because we live in the American lifestyle, do need a cleanse. Preferably about every 12 weeks or every season, I've referred to it as. And the new year is just a beautiful time because a lot of times we make exceptions and we eat way too much junk during the holidays. So cleansing this time of year is a fresh start and getting rid of a lot of the burden on our body. I mentioned probiotics a moment ago. When you're cleaning, it's important to bring in the good guys. Now, you can do that through your diet. I have no problem with kombuchas and sauerkrauts. Yogurt, you got to know if you can tolerate dairy or not. So yogurt and kefir are great, but dairy can be an issue with some people. Fiber is essential. Usually shooting for 20 to 30 grams a day, depending again on the person, but you want enough that you have good elimination. Microbiome has gained attention and deservedly so. That makeup of our gut not only affects how we can digest and eliminate, but affects our immune system overall. So microbiome, working with your microbiome and doing other cleanses to incorporate overall health is key. Again, you've got to get rid of the old to bring in the good. I'm looking at the chat, kind of keeping up with that too. Lots of good information from what people are doing, from the meal planning to the gratitude. The 4 essentials, I think when Sherry was asking about that, you were talking about the protein, carbs, and fats and fiber that I just went over. If not, I have to remember when I said that.
I think that's right, LaDonna.
Good.
And a little
Perfect.
further down, you're going to talk about sleep. We've had a couple of questions come in about sleep that we can reserve until you get there, but
Perfect.
awesome.
Well, I'm going to jump into exercise because that's why I wanted to catch up on chat, because the first thing I want you to do with exercise is to grade it. Now, you could use 0 to 7, but I think everybody knows that exercise is at least a little important. So on a scale of 1 to 7, rate how important exercise is. 1 meaning not that important when you're looking at the big realm of thing, or 7 meaning it's essential, that it's very important to quality of health. So if everybody would start rating that in the chat section, and I'm going to elaborate on why I want you to do that. When we think of our circulatory health, cardiovascular, #1 killer in the United States, 50% of men, 48% women. So we know that activity is one of the biggest impact or influencers on having good cardiovascular health. And so when we talk about exercise, we're not just talking about weight, we're talking about structural system, circulatory system, many areas of your body benefit from exercise. Getting the right essential fatty acids, the omega-3s. My go-to is krill oil with K2 because I feel like K2, and I've read the research is there, helps with preventing hardening of the arteries. But you can also look at diet, your seeds, your nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, black walnuts, all kinds of good options for omega-3s. And then if you have cholesterol, blood pressure concerns, are you addressing those with the proper methods? So as I'm looking at that scale, I see a 9 there. Well, that's going off the scale. I won't argue with that. But we got a lot of 7s. We got a couple 5s. I don't see any 1s, 2s, or 3s. So everybody's believing exercise is important. So this is the next catch-all. Out of the 7 days a week, how many days do you exercise? Because if you believe it's a 7 and you're only exercising 2 or 3 times a week, are you living up to what you believe? And I say that because I can have one finger pointing back at you and 3 at me. Sometimes we just go so busy. We're busy taking care of the family. We're busy taking care of the business. We're busy taking care of the customers, and we forget to take care of ourselves. So we know exercise is important. We need to move daily, 7 days a week. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do a full out routine. I do believe the Bible tells us to rest on the 7th. So the 7th can be going for a walk. It can be playing with your pets or your kids. It can be a fun activity, but we do need to be active 7 days a week. Hydration, set daily goals. Now, most of us have heard the saying, take your body weight, divide it in half, that's the number of ounces a day. That's a great starting point, but if somebody is overweight, then they will tell them 100 ounces. And a lot of times your activity, your perspiration, a lot of things can play into part of that. But set a goal for at least 2 quarts, 64 ounces or more a day. And you can evaluate then to what point you want that to be. How are you going to get your hydration in? What enhancers are you going to use? Do you have them in stock? You can't use them if you don't have them. So how much are you going to drink in the morning? But a lot of times I have my ratio of how much I'm going to drink by 2 p.m. because I want to get a majority of it in the morning hours. Then I'll still drink during the afternoon and evening, but I know I've hit 2/3 of my ratio already done. Mental health, it could be a whole topic on itself because our body is physical, chemical. That's why we talk about nutrition, but it's very much also mental, spiritual being. So if we don't work with our mental health, we are missing a huge piece of the puzzle of quality of life. Evaluate your stressors. What do you need to reduce or release? There are some things that stress us in life that we can't get rid of, but we can work on how our body releases them and lets them go. When and how are you going to implement these? If it's going for walks, if it's taking quiet time, if it's journaling, do you have that materials? Do you have that penciled in on when you're going to do them? Because a lot of times we can have ideas or thinking about something, but to actually do it, we have to be able to implement it, have a plan, have a process in place. We have many herbal solutions to help us de-stress. You think of all the nervine herbs from kava to valerian to passionflower to hops, and the blends we have, the nerve A, the stress relief, stress J. So we got lots of options there. We also have many herbal solutions to help us handle stress better. Think of the adaptogen categories, the Adaptomax. One of my favorite is Nutricom because it's got the B complex with the nervines, with the adaptogens. So it's a blend of a little bit of everything. Sleep, they were wanting to get more into that, and we definitely are because our body needs rest to restore and repair. First thing you want to look at is your bedtime routine. Are you the one who kind of keeps running till you finally hit the bed and then expect to go to sleep right away? You've got to give yourself time to unwind. I think that is both beneficial with the herbs, but also with habits. When do you turn off your TV or your blue light? Well, I had one lady come and tell me she turns off her TV at 6 o'clock, but she didn't turn off her phone till like 11 p.m. So when we turn off that connection, a lot of things are kept to keep us engaged. So what you're viewing on social media is horrible about this. It's designed to keep you always active, always watching it, always participating in it. So it's not something that's going to help you unwind. I will encourage most people to utilize books instead because you have no blue light. A lot of times it'll allow your mind to release, give yourself pause moments. Again, it depends on the material you're reading. I wouldn't read a suspense story right before bed, but there's a lot of good things out there you can be reading to give yourself that wind down time. Essential oils are beautiful here. During the winter is a great time to have a humidifier running, especially if you have dry air heat. But even if not, then use a diffuser. But essential oils can be combined with that. Otherwise, you're going to put them, dilute them in a carrier and apply them topically. And I do a little bit of both. I will diffuse Right now I have essential shield diffusing in my bedroom because it's that time of year, but sometimes it's a frankincense or a sandalwood, something a little bit more grounding. But I also take a massage oil and put in some essential oils and rub them into my feet, part of my routine, to kind of help get that relaxation and to work on the reflex points in my feet. So you can utilize essential oils, misting them on your pillow, diffusing them in the air, applying them topically. Herbally, valerian time release, herbal sleep, kava kava, melatonin extra, several good herbal options to help kind of work as a catalyst to get the body into that. I will find a lot of them will work, and then when you start to wind down, you have to take advantage of that window of when you're starting to wind down. If you kind of push yourself thinking, oh, I'm going to finish that project and finish that, then your body gets a second wind and it's harder to wind down again. So when your body starts to get into that relaxation mode, take advantage of it and call it a night. When you take supplements, it's also wise to take them at least 30 minutes before you are going to go to bed. Sometimes people will take them just a couple hours after supper so they have a chance to get into your system and be working by the time you go to sleep. Other bedtime routines, cutting out the lights. So if you have night lights, anything that can be creating additional light in your room to reduce those. Keep your cell phone and electronics at least 3 to 5 feet away from your bed so you don't have that electrical influence and distraction. If you use your cell phone as an alarm clock, then I still tell you at least 3 to 5 feet because you have to get out of bed to turn it off. Create a routine of a certain time to go to sleep at night. When you have erratic times or sleep schedules, it's harder for your body to get into rhythms. And if possible, and if your work schedule allows it, follow the circadian rhythm of nature, that when it starts to get dark, start winding down. And when it's daytime, get up, don't sleep in until 10, 11 o'clock, because obviously that just kind of keeps you on a poor schedule. I'm going to glance at chat real quick. Somebody was talking about natural movements. I really believe in functional exercise, using exercise that helps maintain your quality of life.
There have been a lot of really good ideas shared by our attendees. LaDonna,
Yes,
very
excellent.
complimentary to what you're sharing. So
That's what
nice.
I'm noticing. Deja vu
Yeah.
here. It sounds wonderful. We're all on the same page.
Right.
GABA plus, yes. Caesar mentions that. Another one, great for quieting that mind when we have monkey brain and we just keep thinking from one thought to the next.
LaDonna, maybe while you're reviewing some of the comments that have come in, there have been a couple of, I think, relevant questions in our question and answer section as well.
Please.
Elena's wondering, she says, it's hard for me to wake up in the morning early enough to exercise, kind of get going. She asked the question, what steps should I take? And maybe while you think about that for a moment, Elena, I think we all can appreciate what you're saying. As far as a great product to consider, if you haven't already, is our new Brain Edge. If you get up and you start your day, maybe within a half an hour, take some Brain Edge, either cold or warm. That's been a game changer for me. It's such an awesome product, and it's brand new. So it's starting to help a lot of people. So that gets me going, personally speaking. But LaDonna, thoughts to help kind of get us excited and going and ready for the new day.
Number one, make sure you're getting to bed early enough that you're getting in your 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Because if you're not getting to bed early enough, it's hard to get up early. One thing I've found beneficial for me is 5-HTP. It's a serotonin precursor. So by taking that at night, it helps me improve my quality of sleep so I get better rest. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm a little bit more ready to go. And I love the Brain Edge. Beautiful product. So whether you're taking it for energy, mental alertness, as a pre-workout, lots of good things it can be utilized for. And taking it in the morning would be a beautiful jump start.
Excellent. Thank you. Maybe one more, if you don't mind, from Barbara. She says she has trouble sleeping due to frequency needing to urinate through the night frequently. She says, I've tried many herbs. Any thoughts about maybe helping someone that does find that they need to get up a lot in the night to go to the bathroom?
When we're looking at urinary frequency, you look at also physical strength, look at pelvic floor exercises, Kegel exercises, core exercises, because a lot of times that bladder will be prolapsing a little bit, making it to where it's a little bit inability to retain fluids. Also look at your night intake of liquids, and that's one of the reasons I try to drink 2/3 of my liquids by 2 p.m. So that way I'm not trying to play catch up late at night, because obviously if you drink a lot at night, you're going to urinate at night. So reduce your volume or allocate your volume liquid so you're not drinking as much late in the evening. Herbally wise, urinary maintenance is still my favorite. I like the corn silk blend, so urinary maintenance, follow the labels on the bottle, but adjust it depending on your weight and your need. But urinary maintenance internally, hydration earlier in the day. Electrolytes can also help because it helps regulate our fluids and how our body releases. So if you need trace minerals, get those. And bring in some core and pelvic floor exercises to help strengthen those lower muscles.
Fantastic. You're so wise. Thanks, LaDonna.
And there's other, Patricia just mentioned uva ursi. There's a lot of good herbs that help the urinary system. So if your urinary maintenance doesn't do it for you, it takes time. It took time for it to get weak. It takes time for it to get strong. So don't think one and done. But there are more than one solution. That's why God gave us so many different plants and why Nature Sunshine carries so many different products.
Well said.
On the goes, I like the SMART acronym. Be specific in writing out your goals, your plan. Be sure they're realistic and attainable, because if you don't believe it can happen, then you're not going to stick with it. Create a timeline of expectations and evaluations so that you're staying on track, because you do have to evaluate to adjust and overcome. And Nick, if you'll go on to the next slide. Creating a map, your steps, your plan towards success. Whenever you're traveling to a destination, you have to transverse the distance between where you are and where you want to be. The same when you're setting goals and making a plan for your journey. You are transferring series of steps and tasks over a period of time. So you want to identify your long-term goals and why, because you have to understand that motivation of why you're making these changes. Break them down into smaller milestones so you have achievable pieces. Make sure your goals are SMART. Prioritize your goals, because we can't do everything at once. Your body doesn't, again, that quantum leap. We're not designed to try to tackle everything at once. Some people can go cold turkey off of one item, but you don't go cold turkey off of everything at one time. So prioritize what steps you're going to take are the most important, what are you taking next, and bring in a plan. Invest in yourself, time and resources. Going back to scheduling your time so that you have time to make the necessary action steps, the resources, the supplements, the tools that you're going to use to be successful. If you're working on blood pressure, you need to be tracking your blood pressure. If you're working on weight, you need to have a scales of measuring your body composition. So you need to have the tools, you need to have the supplements, you need to have the food, everything that's going to help you succeed. Learn from others, success stories, accountability partners, have some support. We do better working with others than always on our own. Track your progress, stay flexible and adaptable. Life is not black and white, there's a lot of gray. So give yourself a little bending room, but always make sure that you're staying on the path. You'll notice this road is not just a straight road to success. Life throws little curveballs, we just keep working toward our goal. Celebrate your milestones. Great motivation, but also gives you a way to celebrate success and not have to wait till you get to that long-term goal. So you have stepping stones to appreciate what you're making, what you're succeeding at. Don't stop. I don't believe success is an endpoint. I believe that's a stage that's look what's beyond the horizon where we set our next goals, because we are a work in progress. Nick, if you want to go to the next one. This is actually from Jeff Olson's book called The Slight Edge, and it's about consistency. And that's the hardest thing. People have ability to start, but sometimes staying consistent becomes a challenge. You'll notice in the middle of the slide, it has a 5% success and a 95% failure. That's not based on people who set goals. That's just based on the population at all. Jeff Olson believed that about 1 in 20 people were truly successful in achieving a realization of their goals, their ideas, the life that they had designed that they wanted to live. And the other 95% were living a life that didn't measure up to everything they wanted, that they had areas that they never realized, and so they did not have full success. And his key points were on that was consistency. A lot of times the people who are successful would do a lot of things that were uncomfortable at first that became comfortable later because they became habits. Exercise is a good example. Usually when you start exercising, it's not the most comfortable thing to do, but as you do it, it becomes a lifestyle habit. It's a comfortable. For some, that may be eating vegetables. They didn't grow up eating them, so they have to learn to train their taste buds and start eating more vegetables, and later on it becomes no issue at all, and they're eating vegetables left and right. Unfortunately, a lot of people stay in that comfortable stage where they're just doing their fast foods and watching their TVs, and they're just keeping their life comfortable, and they're not worried about pushing themselves to the next level of what they need to be truly the vital, healthy, quality, productive person that they want to be, what their goals are. And again, that depends on each person. So I'm not setting standards. I'm just saying when you have a goal and you're not meeting it, you're not having that success. So if you're not there, you've got to take what's comfortable and be a little bit uncomfortable right now. Because later on, for those people who stayed in that stagnant state, they become uncomfortable later. That's sickness, that's illness. And that's where consistency, a lot of times we think of it as with goals, but it's also with quality of life. Because people are so inconsistent and they live a lot of times very chaotic lives, very stressful lives, very rushed, distracted lives. And then it affects their nervous system, affects their glandular system, and then eventually affects their immune system, and their quality of health fails. So to truly have quality of health, to achieve your goals, consistency needs to be a part of your life. Again, life's not black and white. So I'm not talking about being rigid, but I'm also not talking about just always going with the flow. It's that happy medium in between where we have a little bit of flexibility and adaptability, we have a little bit of structure, and we have a lot of consistency. Go ahead to the next slide, Nick. Don't let your dreams just be your dreams. We are here. I've been with Nature Sunshine 30 plus years. There's a lot of leaders. I see a lot of names on here that I know. And, even now Luis has not been with us for 35 years, but he is a phenomenal as far as knowledge. Pat has been around as long as I have. So there's a lot of people on here who have been with Nature Sunshine for a long time, who've delved into the products and can help you achieve your health goals. We're here for health, happiness, achieving great things together. And I'm kind of glancing through the chat. And Scott, if you'll glance at the questions, because I did allow time at the end because I wanted to help all of you with any kind of stepping stones.
Excellent, LaDonna. Yeah, you're doing such an awesome job. Keeping on top of the questions that are coming in. And also, as we mentioned earlier, just people are loving validating what you're sharing. Just from earlier in the conversation, Jackie was wondering, you were speaking about yogurt as a possible good source of protein. Are you speaking about any particular kind of yogurt, Greek yogurt? Do you have a yogurt suggestion or preference?
I actually do a coconut milk yogurt because I don't tolerate dairy very well. But yogurt has a lot of carbohydrates, so I still keep that limited. If I was going to do a dairy yogurt, I do like Greek better because it has a higher protein to carb ratio. So the main thing when you look at yogurt, keep in mind that most of them are dairy based, and that can create some digestive issues in some people. Look at the protein versus carbohydrates. Avoid any with artificial sweeteners or colorings. There's a lot of yogurt out there, to me, is nothing but glorified pudding. So we want to make sure that we're actually getting something with good nutrient value in it. Okosh, Chobani, they're common, they're decent. Stonyfield is organic. So there's good brands out there. Cocoa Mill is the brand that I use. That's the coconut based one. I just don't do much of it. So it's even been a while since I've done that. I'm more of the kombucha person, and I'm experimenting a lot with kimchi right now. I got a
Oh,
German
nice.
background, so I got the sauerkraut down. Now I'm playing around with kimchi, adding more of that in my diet.
Ah, yum. Sounds great. And a lot of good thoughts from our attendees as well regarding good yogurts, etc. So awesome. One more question. This is from Kathy. Going back to sleep and kind of bedtime uh, rituals a bit. She says that adaptogens send her stress levels high. Any thoughts as to what might be happening there and maybe how to flip that a bit?
I'd be probably concerned about cortisol, which probably is a little bit too much to get into in this call, but I would have her try Nature Sunshine's cortisol formula would be my first choice, something a little bit more balancing to her body, or simply adrenal support, rather than going with a straight adaptogen.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully that helps Kathy and probably others as well. Okay, well, those are all of the questions that have been shared in the question and answer box. I'll just
Sherry had
glance.
mentioned something in a chat about keeping the cell phone 4 feet away from while you sleep. What about landlines or portable phones? I believe they should also be kept away. I personally like to keep all electronics um, away from my bed. I read up and I'm not as specialized in EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, but I do feel like they can disrupt. We are electrical human beings. That's why we can do EKGs of our heart and electrical impulse testing. So when we have electrical devices right next to us for 7 hours straight, I think it can influence your sleep quality and your health overall. So I do think keeping all electrical devices away from your bed is another healthy step.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, Julie has a good idea about cell phones. She says it's a good idea to put your phone on airplane mode at night. The alarm will still work and it gives you a break so your phone won't be pinging the cell tower constantly. So, but yes,
That's true. I agree.
have it, as you said, LaDonna, is 3 to 5 feet away or further.
I've
But
read different research, different articles. I try to keep mine over 5 feet, but when you have it as an alarm or you have children or you feel better having it closer, most of them say 3 or more feet. So I think the further you can keep it, the better, but the research shows that 3 feet is significant.
super. Okay.
If
Just
there's any question we haven't seen, post in the chat again. Thankfully, we had a lot of activity
mhm,
and a lot of good feedback, and a lot of sharing, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
perfect. I think looking good. We're
Beautiful.
there. A lot of people are talking about wanting to access the recordings, and Nick will probably address this as we wrap up our webinar. But just know he he is uh, fervently trying to get them available for everyone to listen to at your convenience. There is a process internally that the webinars need to go through before we do post them somewhere for access and but just know that Nick is trying and working as hard and fast as he can to make that happen. And as I mentioned, he may speak to that as we wrap up. Let's see. Patrice is wondering about Release It. I understand Release is no longer sold. That is correct, Patrice. Some of our flower essences and essential oils that unfortunately have traditionally not been great selling products have been discontinued. We never like to do that, of course, but there is some internal stewardship that we have to do regarding cost control, etc. So, so yes, that there are some that are going away, and yes, it is sad. LaDonna, here's a question. You can choose how you'd, if and how you'd like to address it, but this is from Barbara in our question and answer box. She says, do you have any idea what could cause someone on no prescriptions to have nosebleeds? We're blessed, fortunate to have, as you saw in LaDonna's bio, a registered pharmacist in our LaDonna. She knows the best of both worlds. But any thoughts about nosebleeds, LaDonna?
Being that it's January in the middle of winter, the first thing that comes to mind is just dry air. So running a humidifier, evaluating that. Otherwise, I'd look and see if she had bruising or anything else going on to see if it's more of a bleeding issue. And then obviously she needs to consult a health practitioner. But start with the dry air first. Run a humidifier, saline nasal spray. Good old salt water as a nose spray is good, both cleansing and moisturizing to the sinuses. Silver Shield can also be used as a nose spray, as a healing and moisturizing agent. So those things I'd be very comfortable doing. But if it doesn't resolve it, then definitely seek health knowledge, because you don't want to ignore a symptom like that.
Nice. Thank you. Very good. Gladys says, if you deal with nosebleeds, maybe giving blood might be a help. Donating blood might help with that. Interesting. Well, LaDonna, you are a treasure to Nature Sunshine and to all of us who have learned from you through the years and are learning from you perhaps for the first time today. You are just, as I indicated a little bit ago, your knowledge about modern medicine and the benefits of prescriptions, as well as your years and years of study about how to take care of oneself naturally, are just beyond, I guess, reproach. They're just phenomenal, and you have blessed the lives of me and my life, singular, and the many people throughout your years as one of our valued, trusted, important Nature Sunshine partners and herbalists. So thank you for your presentation today, for sharing all of the ideas to help us start our new year off on a nice, healthy direction. And Nick, as you see in the comments, people are loving these herbal hours. So you are the man that makes those happen, and we really appreciate all of your efforts to bring these great presenters to us. So Nick, we'll pass back to you.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, LaDonna. That was a great herbal hour. Great topic, great information once again. So we are very thankful. Thank you for your feedback. I love reading your interactions, and thank you for your patience. I am working hard on making these recordings available soon in the back office. So stay tuned for that. I want to let you know that we have a promotion going on. Buy one, get one free through Saturday on the immune system and the structural system packs. That is a great promotion. There's a code there that you can scan to access the website, or just visit our website, naturesunshine.com, to place your order. And I also want to let you know that with a $99 order, you get 25% off. And while supplies last, you will get a free Herb Nerd cap using the code New Year 25. And if the order is $199, that'll be 30% off with the free gift. Make sure that you use this information to share with everyone who needs to place an order. Remember that free gift is while supplies last. And we have a product giveaway today. So the winners for today, it'll be an apple cinnamon clean start. And we have Sarah Henissa, Vicky Elder, Nelda Garza, Lynn Allen, and Jean Blue. So congratulations to the 5 of you. We'll be sending you a clean start. And again, thank you, Scott. Thank you, LaDonna, for today's herbal hour and information. And we will see you next week at noon. Have a great day.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, LaDonna.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.